Julie, and the police said they were powerless because of the double jeopardy rule. To walk free from a court and then to brag that he'd killed your daughter, and then because of the 12th century law, he can escape justice.
If Mrs. Ming felt powerless to act against her daughter's killer, so did the woman who lived with him. Jane Wadsworth was trapped in a violent, abusive relationship, fearful of an uncertain future with 3 children. Finally, she could take no more and ran away with them.
I always just think it was my fault that he did the things that he did, because he used to blame me. Give him, you know, if I'd watched Home and Away Neighbours, I got beaten because he told me not to, that I shouldn't have done it, I disobeyed him. You never knew what he'd be like when you woke up or when he walked out the door, what mood he'd be in when he came in. He could go out happy, then he'd come in a really bad temper and you'd get it.
But escaping Billy Dunlop wasn't that easy. He traced Jane by combing through an entire phone book to locate the address of a number she'd used to ring his father. Jane then received a peace offering, this videotape.
I think, Jane, at the end of the day, if you come to court on the 10th, even if you don't let the kids off school, come to court on the 10th and let's talk about the kids. Let's get something sorted out. It's the kids that matter here, not us two.
Jane agreed to meet Dunlop, even though at this stage he'd been convicted of threatening to kill her.
When I met him, he was fine, he was Mr. Nice Guy.
All your clothes are still here, and your toys, and your bikes. I've still got your bikes. I haven't sold your bikes. I have no intention of selling your bikes. I've still got all Man's clothes and all the perfumes and what have you.
Saw the children, he was okay. Just basically normal.
It's up to me and my mum to sort it out. It's not your fault. It's not his fault. It's not it's mine and your mum's. Probably more than mostly mine. I haven't said that.
When he was supposed to go home, he asked if he could stay and see the, stay with the children, which he did. And during that time, he got very aggressive and violent. He sexually assaulted me. And after the assault, he went into the kitchen and brought a knife. And it was only one of my children at the top of the stairs crying, and was coming down that he stopped. But I do think he would have killed me then. Just
tell you I still love you and that. You can come home anytime you want. The door's always open for you.
Soon after, unable to take any more violence and threats, Jane finally broke with Billy Dunlop. She won total legal control of her children and resumed her new life. She's never seen Billy Dunlop since.
My worst nightmare would be him to knock on my door.
Billy Dunlop's violent temper soon erupted again when he spotted a former girlfriend with another man.
I'd heard what he's capable of, and I knew about what his past had been, but I never knew him myself, and I'd never even spoke a word to him. He crept into the flat, bit as quiet as he could. I didn't notice him right till more or less the last minute. I just turned round for a second and just caught a glimpse of him swinging the bat towards me. And that first blow, that was the one that knocked me out. He carried on going berserk with this bat and hitting me, repeatedly hitting me, apparently till the bat had snapped. And that's when he stopped.
Dunlop also turned on the woman, repeatedly stabbing her with a meat fork. At the time, she was pregnant with his child.
My facial skeleton was detached from my skull. Near enough every bone in my face was broke. My roof of my mouth was snapped in half.
Surgeons had to wire up and rebuild Sean Fairweather's shattered face, holding it together with metal plates.
I really do think that he did attempt to murder me, because the way he left me, he more or less did leave me for dead.
Dunlop was charged with attempted murder, but admitted the lesser offence of causing grievous bodily harm and got 7 years jail.
He pleaded not guilty to attempted murder. Then he pleaded guilty to grievous bodily harm, which, snapping a baseball bat over a man's face, to us it's attempted murder. And stabbing a woman with a barbecue skewer several times is attempted murder. And he was only given 7-year sentence for trying to kill these 2 people. And at that point, although we were pleased he was off the streets, it didn't make any difference to our position, because although we'd been told verbally that he'd confessed to killing Julie in pubs and things, because of the double jeopardy rule, it didn't make any difference to our situation.
Dunlop was behind bars, but that didn't stop his boasting about killing Julie Hogg. For Cleveland police, haunted by their failure to find her body, here was a chance to act against the man many believed had got away with murder.
We received some intelligence that indicated that Billy Dunlop, whilst he was serving a prison sentence for assault, was starting to indicate that he'd been responsible for Julie Hogg's death. That came to myself and a small team of detectives to investigate.
A woman prison officer who'd befriended Dunlop was fitted with a hidden recorder. She secretly taped 60 hours of conversation that provided a dramatic breakthrough. He admitted he'd murdered Julie, strangling her because she'd laughed at him.
A lot of people didn't think it was me, because they could have understood if she'd been beaten to death. You know, got black eyes, that sort of thing. But there was no black eyes or anything.
Why did you kill her, though?
Just arguing over daft little things, and I lost it, didn't I? Try to bury it in the back of my mind now rather than think about it.
I can't imagine somebody actually thinking about putting somebody under the bath.
Don't even ask me where it came from, because I don't know. It doesn't bother me now, though. I've been clear of it, so it doesn't matter how I tell now, does it?
We were told that he had confessed to a prison officer, and his confession had been taped. We'd believed as a family that the police did get the right man, but other people had an element of doubt, and now with this confession, there was no element of doubt.
Dunlop was taken from his prison cell to be interviewed at Stockton police station about his secretly recorded confession. But he knew he couldn't be charged with murder again.
Did you kill Julie Hogg?
Yeah. I just lost it. I went over there and strangled her.
Where were you in the house?
Dunlop told them he'd stuffed Julie's clothing in a bin bag and left it outside his digs for the dustman.
Before you snapped.
Then he'd hidden her keys under the floorboards.
Why did you do that?
Who knows? Sometimes in your subconscious, you're wanting to get caught. And there's not a day goes by that I don't think about that night. About what I done to her. To Julie. Her family. There's Kevin, her son. You can go to Julie's mum now. And you can tell I've told the truth.
If he'd felt any element of remorse, why did he sit for 3 months? Know where Julie's body was. What he's done, in fact, is made an absolute mockery of the British justice system by his confession.
Dunlop's admission proved he'd lied at both murder trials. He was charged with 2 offences of perjury, lying under oath. In court, to see the man who'd killed his mother was Julie's son, Kevin.
When I was in the court, he looked up and then looked straight back down. Didn't really look. I just thought, yeah, I think he knows that I'm here. And he also knows that I'm going to get justice for my mum.
His lawyer said Dunlop's contrition in facing up to his terrible crime was unequalled in the British penal system. He got 6 years, and was returned to his prison cell. But still, there was no life sentence. Angela Usher made a statement for Julie's family.
He should have been convicted of murder, and to see him prosecuted only for perjury is a poor consolation. In the end, we are relieved that he's been sentenced, but we're not happy with the sentence. I don't understand law at all. He's a man in court, putting his hand up to doing a murder, but just going away for lying. And that's what I never understand that. So until the law's changed, Anne will keep fighting.
He confessed he strangled her. Perjury is a poor substitute for a life sentence for the death of our daughter.
It's 13 years since Julie Hogg's murder. Her son Kevin now knows what really happened.
Throughout his growing up, he used to ask different members of the family different things, suggesting, you know, that what had happened to his mum. But he never came out right and said, was my mum murdered? He didn't ask that. It was just skirting round the subject.
The truth was out there, on the streets and in the playground, and nothing could protect Kevin from that.
Happened as I was 13, and I'd heard rumours. A friend had told me. Like, I was told that she'd slipped in the bath, and I didn't know what to believe. Like, my natural instincts were to believe my parents, and then I really didn't know what to do. So to find out for myself, I just thought the only thing I could do is, instead of asking, because I was too frightened in case I upset anybody, I went to the library. I just looked through, like, all the newspapers of 1989, because I wasn't too sure on any specific date. Just going through them and gradually getting to the end of the year. And all of a sudden it just came on, like, just like, look. One headline what came up, what was quite moving, was "Please come home to us," and with a big picture of my mum. And I just couldn't, like, take no more looking at them, and just, like, put them all away and went out and then went for some fresh air, because it just felt as though I couldn't breathe, and if I didn't get outside to breathe, I'd maybe pass out. And then maybe 2 weeks from then, when I'd found out, I was told the truth.
Kevin has joined the family's efforts to have his mother's killer brought to justice. The past few years have seen the knife twisted repeatedly, from the failed police search of Julie's house to Billy Dunlop's boasting after his acquittal. But the experience has made them determined to get the double jeopardy law changed.
Instead of just sitting back and thinking, well, you know, it's the law of the land, it can't be retried, you've suddenly thought, well, you know, if the law can be changed, you've done everything that you can to help this happen. And in doing that, you've obtained, hopefully, justice for Julie.
Across the northeast, Julie's family are now getting support from people unable to understand how a law dating back to feudal times can allow a man to get away with murder.
We were absolutely astounded at the number of people, strangers to me and my husband, came up to us in the street while we were out shopping and saying good luck with your campaign. The law should be changed. We haven't had one person say that they disagree with what we're doing, not one.
Julie's mother takes her campaign to newspapers, radio and television stations, challenging eminent lawyers like Imran Khan, who opposes changes to